and welcome to my channel Untitled Media. Today's video we're going to be looking at migrating to Cloudways. These are the steps we're going to be taking. We'll also be looking at what happens if for whatever reason all the data doesn't get transferred across and what you can do. And this can be caused, for instance, if there is a database, if the database that you have isn't compatible with the database that you're moving over to on Cloudways. So I'll show you how to mitigate that. So to start with, what I've done is I've created a dummy site on Resellers Hosting. This is just a quick, basically, just to show you, give you an idea of how it all works. And so this isn't a client site; it's just something I've put together, quick demo content. As you can see, it's just dummy content, contact page. So it's a fair size WordPress site. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just log in and go to dashboard. So one of the first things you want to do is determine what server specs you have on the site that you want to migrate. We go to plugins, install plugins. Click on add new. Type in version info. So this is the plugin we're going to be using. Just click on install now. And activate. So what you'll notice, the bottom of the screen, you'll see there it says the WordPress version currently being used, the PHP version, and the MySQL. So the MySQL is the database that's currently being used. So the most important thing is the MySQL, and to a certain degree the PHP version. But the main thing is that you want the database on the server that you're moving to, in this case Cloudways, to be as close as possible to the database that you are migrating from. The problems can arise if the databases are not compatible. If one is much older or newer than the other, then there can be compatibility issues, and this can then cause maybe some tables don't get transferred across, migrated across, and then you need to basically rebuild the site, which I'll show you a quick way of doing if you can't get the database across. Okay, so once we've done that, now we're going to go over to Cloudways. Log into Cloudways. So when you first log in, what you're looking at on the screen is the server, and then what you want to do is just click on applications. This is where all the applications are held. In this case, WordPress sites. These ones are HTML sites, and these are WordPress sites. And each application is associated with a project, so you can add your projects here. It just helps to divide it all up so it's easier to manage. So what you want to do is just click on Add Application, and then from here you select the server that you want to associate the application with. So you can have more than one server on Cloudways. So we're going to select main server, and then Add Application. So on this screen, we're now going to configure the application. So basically we're looking at WordPress, and we're going to be choosing so it's WordPress 5.3 and the clean, so no Cloudways optimization version 5.3. And then the name, so what I do is when I name my applications, I just give it the website name. So in this case, it's going to be called Color Mag. And then I'm associating that with my private projects. It's not a client site. And then Add Application. So that should take a few minutes to go. I'll just pause the video and come back. Okay, so that's done there. So then we go back to applications, and you'll see at the bottom there, new application has been added. So you just click on that. So on this screen, you've got the access details for the new application. And if you click on the URL there, so this is basically on a staging site. Click on this. It's just going to be the default WordPress theme that you see. So this is 2020. So click on this, the admin panel, to log in. And then you'll see the login details here. So you basically just have to click straight on it, and then it shows you copied. And you click in, paste it. And then the password, you don't have to even see the password, just click right on top of the dots to copy it, and then click and paste it. And log in. So this is now the dashboard of the site that we're going to be migrating to. So first of all, before you can migrate to Cloudways, you've got to create an application. You've got to set up an application on the server that you want to move to. And then we're just going to basically clean it up a bit. So there's some things here. So WordPress needs updating. And there's some plugins that need updating. So we're just going to clean it up, so it's more efficient. Click on update. So this is the latest WordPress version. And on this screen you can see what's new, so on. Okay. So we go to the plugins, and by default these are installed. We don't need these, so I'm just going to get rid of them. Some housekeeping, and we go to themes, and you'll see there'll be a whole lot of themes there, or the default themes. So these themes here are not being used. I need the 2021 as active, so these other ones we can get rid of. It's also a good idea for security not to have anything at the back end that isn't being used. So as a rule of thumb, if you're not using it, get rid of it. This theme is also needing updated, so we'll just update that as well. And then if we look at settings and go to permalinks, you'll see most likely it's the wrong structure. So ideally you want it to be post name, post. And if it's this one, sometimes it's plain. So this is the one you want to select. Okay, so that's the one you want to select. Okay, so next thing is go to install plugins. And then we're going to add the version info again, so we can see what the server spec is that we want to migrate to. And then this is the one we're selecting again, so install that. Activate. And again, once you activate it, occupy the bottom area. And so what we're interested in is PHP version 7.3, which is very similar to the site that we're going to be migrating from, which will be migrating. So you can see there, it's also that's 5.4. I mean, sorry, PHP 7.3. And the site we're migrating is also PHP 7.3. And then the MySQL version on Cloudways is 5.7.29, and site that we're going to be migrated is 5.7.23, so it's slightly older, but that should be alright, because the main thing is it's MySQL 5.7, so they're both MySQL 5.7. There may be a compatibility issue if one was 5.7, that was 5.6 or 5.5, then you might see something. Okay. Okay, so now what we have to do is go to just show you where we're at. So we've done. So we've done that. Done the housekeeping. Now we're over here now. This is what we have to do now, is add the application credentials. Basically go on Cloudways. You'll notice here, so on Cloudways, so we've got the access details here. That's your application URL, which takes you to what the to the WordPress theme, the website. That's your admin side. Now we have to add this information, which is your FTP details. So you just put in a username, and then a password. The longer the password, the more difficult it is. So you want it to be quite long. It says between 8 and 60 characters, at least one lowercase and one uppercase, and at least one number. And then just add that in. So this information we're going to be using when we migrate. So now we're going to go to the website that we're actually going to migrate. Okay. So in here, we're now going to install the Cloudways migration plugin. This is it here, Cloudways WordPress Migrator. Store. And then activate that. Okay, so now we go to the settings. So first of all, you just put in your email address. Your database name. So now we're going back to the access one, and you'll see it says my SQL access, DB name, database name. So you just click on that to copy it, then paste in your database name, then your SFTP username. So this is your username, just copy that. And then the destination site URL. So that is this one here. So basically you get that when you click on the application URL, opens in a new tab. Just click on that. So if you click on the little icon that says Launch App, open a new window, and then just copy it, paste that in, and then your server public IP address. So that's your public IP address. That's basically the server IP address. Okay, and just click right on it and copy it. Paste that in. And then your SFTP password. That's the number. So again, you don't have to see it. If you want to see it, just click on the eye and that'll show you what it is. You just need to click right on it, copy it, and then paste it in. Okay, so that's all the information that you need to migrate to Cloudways, and then you just need to tick a little box, I agree. So Cloudways is basically using Blog Vault to do the migrating, and then you click on the Migrate button. So this shows you the process, what's happened. So all the tables have been sent across, copied across, the files have been copied, and then you'll see the site information at the bottom here, copying across. The reason why this has gone so fast is because I did this before as a test, so this is my second time doing it. But normally this can take maybe 5-10 minutes depending on the size of the site. It's nearly done now. Okay, so that's all copied across. Now if we you can click on visit migrated site. So now what you're seeing is you're thinking what's going on here, because this, as you can see, is still the 2020 WordPress theme that we're looking at. Sometimes what happens is the cache kicks in, so you're looking at a cache version. So what you need to do is refresh the screen or clear the cache. And I'll just clear the cache. So to clear the cache, you can go to your history, clear browsing data, clear the data. Hopefully that should do it. There we go. It's just a caching thing. There we go. There's the site. So that's on the Cloudways server. It's been moved across, and I'll just type in the address for my so the site that we just copied across. So that's the copied site that we've now migrated from resellers hosting to Cloudways hosting. So that's the basically the address on Cloudways. So that's a staging site, and that's the address on the resellers hosting server that I've copied from to that. Okay. So now on this, what you want to now do is just log in. So just copy the username. So just bring in the steps here. So we've added application credentials, we've gone migration site, installed Cloudways migration plugin, figured that using the Blog Vault, cleared the cache, and then logged into the migration site. So that's where we are. That's where we are now. and I've shown you the original site. Okay, so in here, so basically, if for some reason all the database files don't go across, then what you need to do is you need to go back to the site that you want to migrate from. Go into the dashboard, and you'll see it says Tools, Export. And then you just need to select all the content, download the export file, which will be an XML file, and then go to the site that you want to export to. And go to Tools, Import. Now when you go to import, by default, WordPress hasn't installed the plugin, so you'll need to install this plugin here. WordPress install now, and then you will then be able to import the XML file. And then the other thing you'll need to do is to go back to the site that you want to to migrate. You need to go to installed plugins, and then just add a new plugin called File Manager. So this is what it looks like, File Manager. This is if you don't have access to FTP, then you would install this File Manager, and that will allow you to download the content. So you want to download the media files from the media library, and then you would then install this on the server that you've migrated to, and then upload the files via the File Manager. Otherwise use FTP, and then that should help you put the site together. Now once you're on the once you've migrated everything across to Cloudways, the other thing you'll need to do is add the caching plugin that Cloudways recommends. Helps to speed up the site. So you just type in Breeze. So this is what the plugin looks like, Breeze. I install that and activate. And you go to settings. So you can access the settings on the plugin, but also via settings and Breeze. Okay. So by default, the cache system is already ticked, and you're all set to go. Just you need to make sure. I've done something wrong there, sorry. Just that's the other thing, when you do this, make sure that you're on the right side. So that's on this side, sorry. I just need to go to plugins. So make sure I'm on the right server. Yeah. So you go add new. So you want to add the Breeze plugin on the Cloudways server. Activate. So you go to settings, and by default you will see that the cache system's already been triggered, been selected. You just need to make sure that Varnish has been set up on your Cloudways. So on your application, on the application, if you go to application settings, you'll see that Varnish disabled, enable. Make sure that that is enabled. And also on the server, see manage services. So you'll see varnish there running. Then on the application, back in the dashboard, you can also make further configurations like minifying your HTML, CSS. Be careful and be a little bit more careful with JS. Sometimes if you minify JS, that can cause some things not to work. So your gzip will be compressed. That's for your images, browser cache, advanced options. So you can group your CS files or JS files. Sometimes this can cause things not to work. So just be careful with that. On your database side, you can do a clean. So any revisions, drafts, transients. So basically just tick the boxes. Transients. And then click on optimize, and that will clean your database. Okay. CDN. So you can Cloudways comes with a CDN network, and you just put the file path in there. Tick that box to activate it, and then varnish is already set up to go. Okay. So yeah, that about wraps it up. So thank you for watching this video on migrating to Cloudways. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to support the channel. Any donations will be most welcome. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.